All right, you guys. So today we're going to get a look at some leaked photos of the upcoming event Triple Force Friday for the Black Series, as well as the Vintage Collection. And then we're also going to get a look at the Smith Lord figures. There was an announcement that came out today. I caught this on the Retro Blast YouTube channel, and we're going to get a look at some of the figures that they plan on releasing, and we'll get into that a little bit later on in this video, guys. So starting with our Black Series 6-inch figures, we're going to start with our First Order Riot Patrol Trooper, or Melee Trooper, whatever you choose to call him. But this is going to be kind of a repack. We got this in the Poe Dameron 2-pack that came out a little while ago. Next up is our Sith Trooper regular release. I did pick up the SDCC, or San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, which came with more weapons than the regular release I believe will come with. But they are very cool figures. I actually ordered another regular release as well. Next up is the Off-World Jawa. Really no different than the Tatooine Jawa, for the exception of the experiences of being on other worlds, but it is a very cool looking figure. It looks like you get to see a little bit more detail in the face, but I'll have to do a comparison between the two once I get this in. Next up is our Rise of Skywalker Rey with Dio. So this is really cool. We're getting kind of a 2-pack, just like we did with the BB-8 and Rey original release. So this is really cool, and you also see that she has her new lighter outfit as well. Next up is our Supreme Leader Kylo Ren for the Rise of Skywalker Episode 9. Very cool, guys. Looks like he has his cracked helmet as well, so that is a real cool addition to this figure. I hope the helmet comes off of the figure and reveals the face as well. And then it looks like we get the Vader helmet, as you can see in the upper corner there. The melted Vader helmet there. We got a version of this in the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive that came out a few years ago. However, that was from The Force Awakens, and this would be from The Rise of Skywalker. Next up is our second sister Inquisitor, who will be a part of the Jedi Fallen Order video game coming out in November. I actually have this on pre-order. That also includes a Black Series figure. However, we have not been told what particular figure that will be. There are one of two figures that it could be that will be coming out for that special release of this game. And then of course you see she has her double-bladed twister blade there as well. Next up is our Cal Kestis, who is the main character for the Jedi Fallen Order video game. Again, he could be one of the exclusive figures that is a part of the special package for the game, but he is a very cool figure. For those who do not know, this is a Jedi Padawan who gets caught up in the Order 66. After going into hiding, he somehow finds his way into helping the rebellion. He actually runs into Saw Gerrera, and could make for a very cool story in that video game. Cannot wait for that figure and the game, guys. He is also sort of a 2-pack. He comes with his little side companion droid there as well. I do not know the name of the droid, unfortunately. Then there is the Mandalorian figure, my favorite and most anticipated figure in this particular wave, guys. Really excited about this figure, really cool, looks great in the packaging. Cannot wait to get this particular figure. And then of course we have the show, which is also going to be premiering on the Disney Plus streaming service. Very awesome. So now we're going to move on to the vintage collection line of figures, guys, starting with Zoria Bliss. We're also going to get our Poe Dameron, and we're also going to get our Sith Trooper and Luke Skywalker vintage carded figures. That is really cool. And then it also looks like we're going to receive our Rise of Skywalker Rey as well, guys, as you can see pictured off to the left-hand side there next to Luke Skywalker and the Sith Trooper. So really excited to add these figures to my wall that I've started with the Vintage Collection figures, guys. So that's really cool stuff. And then our last bit of news here comes to us from Smith Lord Action Figures, guys. I actually, again, picked this up from the Retro Blasting YouTube channel. They announced this on their channel. They got a message from Smith Lord regarding the new or next line of figures that they're going to be coming out with here. So as you can see, we do have Uncle Ben right here. Now, all of these particular figures are figures that have not been released in the original vintage line, the 1979 vintage line, guys. So these would be considered customs rather than repos or fakes per se. But we have our Aunt Beru here as well. So that is really, really awesome, guys. And I think it's really cool that they're releasing these particular figures and making them available. And then, of course, here you have your Biggs figure. Some of these figures have been released in the Power of the Force line. But again, this would be closer to the 5POA original vintage line of figures, guys. And then you also would be getting your Wedge as well. Again, another figure that I believe is available in the Power of the Force line, but now he is available in a vintage style of the figure line, guys. So really cool. And then here we have our AF Droid. I believe, I hope I have the name correct. I may have that incorrect. But again, this is a figure that was never released in the original vintage line. And then next up, we are going to get our Princess Leia hologram. This would be the hologram, the original hologram that R2-D2 accidentally shows to Luke Skywalker in A New Hope. So that is really cool that they're making that available. And then you're also set to receive your Admiral Mott. So that is absolutely awesome. You get another Admiral to add to your collection. Again, another figure that has never been released in the original vintage line. And then next up, a couple of figures that are available in the Power of the Force line of figures, but again, not available in the original vintage 5POA line, is your Han Solo in Trooper gear. And then also you would get your Sand Trooper as well. So that is really awesome. Again, a couple of figures that have not been made available in the original 5POA vintage line now are available in a custom style very close to the original vintage line of figures. And then our next figure is going to be our Spaceman from the Cantina, I believe. That is really, really awesome, really cool. I believe this figure is also available in the Power of the Force line as well. This one I am the most excited for in this particular line, which is your Captain Antilles. Obviously, he is the guy who is being choked by Vader in the opening scenes of A New Hope. So that is really exciting to get him. And then last but not least, and another figure that I'm really, really excited about is our Y-Wing pilot. Really awesome. And of course, he would be a must-have for anyone who owns the vintage Y-Wing. So that is some really cool stuff there, guys. With the Smith Lord figures, there have been some controversy with this particular line of figures, guys, because they do produce what people may call repos or fakes or counterfeits. However, since they are coming out with a line of figures that have never been released in the original line of figures, I think it would be better to call them custom figures, and would be something that any collector would like to add to their collection. So I'm very excited to get a look at these figures and see what they look like and how close they are to the original line. From what I understand, they are very, very close to the original vintage line of figures, guys. So let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Are you going to be out there for Triple Force Friday searching for the Black Series figures and vintage figures that are due to be put out there? Are you interested in the Smith Lord original vintage custom figure line, guys. I'm very interested in that line. There are a couple of figures I would like to get out of that line, guys. So what is your most anticipated figure, guys? Is it your Sith Trooper? Is it your Cal? Is it your Mandalorian? That is my most anticipated figure right there, guys. So let me know. Are you interested in that vintage line of carded figures, guys? I'll be picking all of this up from whenever and however I can, guys. Let me know. Put those comments down below. Please like and subscribe. And of course, guys, from the Father to the Son to the Obi-Wan Force Ghost, may the Force be with you always.